Belper is full of stories. There are so many, and they're from so many centuries, so many different parts of the town. But one of the most interesting periods was when the town was still quite young, as the mills had been built and the town was rapidly expanding. You had different types of people, mill workers working with nail makers and others, and the town was run in a very different way. The Strutt family had their own night watchman working around the town and making sure that the peace was kept. And now a book has been discovered which covers that period of time, the Night Watchman's Reports from the 1830s. It's an amazing book, and we'd like you to help us to secure it for the Derbyshire Record Office so that all of us can enjoy and find out more about that period. So, who were the Belper Watchmen? Well, we know, thanks to the book, who there was in the 1830s. First is George Gratian. He's likely to be related to the market gardeners who used the slurry from the toilets of 50 mill workers' cottages to produce what were regarded as being some of the finest commercially available carrots in the county. Also, we've got George Heathcote. There are still Heathcotes in the town today. And Charles Rowbottom and Joshua Stour. Now, Joshua replaced Samuel Marsh. Samuel Marsh was let go in 1833 for turning up to work drunk and behaving very improperly. And there were Samuel, Joseph and William Taylor. Now they're likely to be members of the Taylor family who were based at Cow Hill, which was at the south side of town, and just 3 years earlier the Justice of the Peace was called out. That was Jedediah Strutt, because the Taylors were holed up in their house in Cow Hill, and they were accused of stealing nails, and they threatened to blow out the brains of anyone who came into the house. Now Jedediah sorted that, but perhaps he thought at the time it was better to have them on side than not on side, so perhaps he turned poachers into gamekeepers. So who was throwing pebbles at Mr. Strutt's window in the middle of the night, and what happened to him?
Well, we know that, and so much more thanks to the book. Derbyshire Record Office has a number of related documents, watchmen's instructions and notebooks, but it's the report books which are the most fascinating, and while several exist in the archive, all the early ones are missing. This would be the earliest by far.
The Night Watchman's Report is full of stories, but also there's information about how the gas lamps were looked after and lit every day, and about the water levels so that they knew how much water was going to be available to the water wheels for the mills, so that they knew how much they could produce in a day, the following day. And of course those incredible crime reports are forever fascinating. Here's one right at the end of the book, and this is Sunday morning, September the 27th, 1835. At 3 o'clock in the morning, there's a James Porter from Smalley who was drunk and making a great disturbance at the watch house. And it's reported by George Gratian. I took him to the lockup, and next morning before Mr. George Benson Strutt, who fined him 2 shillings and 6pence, but he having only 6pence in his pocket, he left a shirt for the 2 shillings, which was brought soon after, and the shirt given up to him. It's great stuff, and we're so lucky to have found something like this. It'd be great if we can secure it for the Record Office. Thank you.
Please visit Crowdfunder to donate towards this very important acquisition. You'll find a number of incentives in there, including some where the name of the man who threw that stone at Jedediah's window is revealed.